Star Citizen Alpha 3.15.1 is now live in preparation for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, which turns on at 4 PM UTC on Friday the 19th of November. So if you're watching this just after I've released it, later today. But first, we had an Inside Star Citizen Spartan Warrior. They posed a scenario. You are on Pyro 4. The visibility's bad. There's an enemy base with air defenses. That's when you might want to use a Spartan or Spartans to take the facility by land. This is the new APC based on the Ballista chassis and available to drive at the IAE. It's going straight to drivable. The platform is technically called the Atlas platform, which is what the Ballista and Spartan are based on, but it's a Ballista chassis. As defenses and especially air defenses get more sort of in-game and more used to protect points of interest and eventually bases, ground vehicles will be needed to help assault them and bring in infantry. Ground vehicles will also be useful for getting troops around in low visibility, though environmental hazards, avoiding radar, and various other things that might be a good idea to use a Spartan for rather than a ship for are sort of like going to be phased into the game. Ships aren't always going to be the best option, is what I'm trying to say. The vehicle itself has two entrances in the centre, left and right, and then a folding rear ramp. It can carry 8 troops plus their weapons. You are not able to fit like a Titan suit in there or vehicles in there though, so bear that in mind. In addition to all of this, it can have a single driver, so the vehicle is supposed to be pretty fast. It's a troop transport after all, and it will be very armoured, significantly more armoured than the Ballista. It is supposed to be a military APC. Well, I suppose it's military style. Technically, it's available to the civilian market. But as APC stands for Armoured Personnel Carrier, you know what we're getting at. It's basically a combat vehicle. It has a dual size 2 turret operated by the driver, which has ballistic gatlings. So that driver is going to be supporting the forces as they go in on the ground, potentially. Cloud Imperium have also suggested you can carry more troops by having them stand or sit on the top. I mean, tanks used to do that, but there are ladders on the side of the vehicle to help with that functionality. Unfortunately, those ladders are not currently functional, but they will be in the future. You're going to see this available to buy and use at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo very, very soon. The Redeemer was also talked about. So this ship was designed by backers, effectively. The team, the Four Horsemen, won the Next Great Starship competition that Cloud Imperium had put on, with the Redeemer being the ship that they put forward for that. Basically, it had teams competing to make a ship for Star Citizen. However, the ship needed to be updated to Cloud Imperium standards and was sort of like left by the wayside for quite a while before now being flyable in Alpha 3.15.1. It's become much more of a gunship, with the dropship element being mostly forgotten. That said, I do think there's ample room for a handful of Marines on the ship. The ship has amazing offensive firepower. The Gladius helped inform the cockpit for the Redeemer. The pilot has access to ballistic fixed cannons on the wings and can make use of the front turret too, which can also be taken over remotely by a co-gunner. There is room for another remote gunner who makes use of the rear turret, and these turrets are both dual size 3 laser cannons, so it's got good sort of turret coverage from anti-small ship. But there's also 2 large manned turrets on the top and bottom. They both have dual size 5 ballistic gatlings, which is a lot of pew-pew. There's access to components internally as well. There's seats for crew and Marines in the ship too. If you go a floor below via the ladder, there's also a food area, 4 bunks, which are also apparently escape pods, a toilet, and a 2 SCU cargo area. The entry and exit is done via a ramp here. The nacelles, if that's the right word, open and close based on velocity as you fly around. So externally the ship looks awesome. It's got like nutcrackers or hair straighteners on the side of it. It's what it looks like. Absolutely fantastic. Straighten your hair with it. Yeah, it looks very cool. I'm not sure really if they serve a really good like military purpose, but they look fantastic. Alpha 3.15.1 is also now out the door. It adds the Redeemer, as well as the Ares, Ion, and Inferno. But there's also other things. Volumetric clouds with internal VFX have been added to Microtech. This is the first implementation and will only be featuring around Microtech at this time, with other planets and moons coming in the future. They updated all existing guards in the central business district area of Lorville to a variant of the Coronis armor, and this armor is absolutely sweet. It looks beautiful. It's my favorite armor game, I think. You can get the Coronis Tech armor at least the Armortex variant of it, in shops around the Persistent Universe now. I believe that's just in Lawville at the moment. There has been a dropped item polish pass, adding dropped clutter prevention to avoid extreme performance issues when players dropped hundreds of items into a single area. This will limit dropped carryables to 10 per 7-meter radius sphere and block further items being dropped until out of this range. Also, a medical and downstate UI polish pass has been made, increasing the size of text on the incapacitated screen, adding name and distance of players who accepted revival beacons on the screen there as well. They added labels to corpse markers. They also added the option to the Perthrin Inner Thought menu to dismiss corpse markers and dismiss corpse markers based on interaction. They've increased the visibility of limb damage text when healing yourself with a medical tool. They've added a marker to players' last corpse to help them find it after death. They updated loadout and health to increase the difficulty of eliminate boss underground bunker missions. They also rescaled shields to have a less drastic effect and sort of benefit in the A to B categories for size 1, 2, and 3. So you're not going to see such a huge variance between A's and B's, basically is what we're saying there. Also, they fixed scattergun damage, and a whole host of major and minor bugs were dealt with NPCs, inventory, items disappearing, ships being in unknown states, crashes being dealt with, and general accessibility to the game and its missions. There are still some known issues, though, that you might want to be aware of beyond what we already know. Bounty Hunter missions can update pretty slowly on a slow server. After a server crash, attempting to reconnect may result in an infinite loading screen and being unable to interact with the menu. Players need to basically entirely relog to get back in. Players cannot repair, refuel, and rearm at some outposts. I believe it's all outposts at the moment. Multifunction displays, MFD screens, are often blocked by cockpit interaction prompts. Items stored in long-term persistence, such as mined gems, are currently not stackable. This is something that they're going to be solving in a future update. Swapping weapons has a chance to drop or remove the weapon. When in combat, NPCs can get stuck in cover when trying to exit. Announcer audio call out for match over, you've won or lost, can be heard multiple times at the end of Arena Commander. When undocking, ships will occasionally become caught on the docking arm instead of detaching smoothly. Not ideal. Boom! But that's it for your Alpha 3.15.1 fix until the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo starts later today. There's going to be lots going on at the IAE and loads of vehicles and ships to try, new ones to be revealed beyond the Spartan 2. But what do you think? Are you excited for 3.15.1? What do you think of the Spartan? Are you going to be trying to pick up a limited hull ship during that sale? And if you want to know what limited hulls are on sale and when, check out my video on Do You Want a Limited Hull on my channel. Whatever your thoughts, though, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. It's November, and that means, yes, you're right, it's NordVPN season. All those delicious Nords are collected together to make the finest VPN that I shill for on my channel. Not only is NordVPN delicious, but it also protects. Check out the links below to get fantastic discounts, or go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Do you dream of being at the controls of your spaceship in real life? Well, now you sort of can with Game Glass. It turns touchscreen devices into diegetic controllers for Star Citizen, and you can get the basic software free. Check it out in the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway as well. This time it's for a Mercury Starrunner, a multi-crew ship that will let you do a bit of everything in-game now. Or at least most things. Lots of things in-game now. In the future it might allow you to do smuggling and data running too. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos during November. More details down below. If you'd like to further support the channel, please consider clicking the join or thanks button under my videos, or even becoming a Patreon. You get some cool stuff to show that you're a true supporter of mine and Zin's art, some exclusive polls, ways of shaping the channel, some exclusive videos, all that sort of jazz too. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the verse.